Hello everyone, hope you are doing well and by now you have watched the previous videos on rhetoric or figures of speech. This is part 6 of rhetoric or figures of speech series. In this video I shall discuss figures based on sound. There are three figures of speech under this category: pun, onomatopoeia, and alliteration. Let's start with pun. The pun consists in the use of the same sound to convey different meanings. It has the duplicity of sense under the unity of sound. Of course, the effect is comical and the figure is generally used for jest. Now, this particular figure of speech can be used in three different ways. Let me explain with examples. Look at the first example. Some people are more attentive to their pages than to the pages of a book. So here the first word that is pages means boy servants, and the second pages means leaves of a book. So the two words are same but they have different meanings. This is one way of using pun where we generally use the same word with different meanings. Second type: when a woman loses her husband, she pines for a second. Note the pun here on the word second. Here, second has double meaning. Like the first meaning can be for a moment or a short time, and this other meaning of second could be a second husband. So when a woman loses her husband, she pines for either a short time or she pines for a second husband. Okay, so there is a pun on the word second. So here in this case, we are using one word with two meanings, two different meanings. And the third type of using pun is not on thy soul, but on thy soul. So here, the first word soul, like soul and soul, both the words have similar sounds but different meanings. The two words are also different. Okay, the two words are not same like pages. The two words are different, the meanings are different, but the sounds are same. So the first word, the word sole, S-O-L-E, means the bottom of a shoe, while soul, S-O-U-L, indicates the indwelling spirit of human beings or man. Okay? Okay, let us look at some other examples. The will of a living daughter is curbed by the will of a dead father. So here the first will denotes desire. The desire of a living daughter is curbed by the will or testament of a dead father. You cannot change the spot on your character by changing your spot. The first spot means mark or stain, whereas the last one denotes position or place. Next, it is no mean happiness to be seated in the mean. The first mean means small. It is no small happiness to be seated in the mean means in the middle. Next, truly, sir, all that I live by is with all. Here there is a pun on the word all, AWL. So here all means an instrument of the cobbler. Okay, and the pun is on the words all, AWL all and AWL all. Okay, the first next example, the first son is the son of the family. So here, sun and sun, there is a pun on these words. Acha. Next, I have given one dialogue. Read this. A says, "Is life worth living?" B says, "That depends on the liver." So there is a pun on the word liver. Liver may refer to the person who lives life, who is living the life. Okay, and the second meaning of liver could be the organ. Okay, an organ of the human body. Okay. Now let us move on to the next figure of speech, which is onomatopoeia. In onomatopoeia, the sound of a word is made to echo its sense. Examples like, "and murmuring of the innumerable bees." Let me read all the examples, okay? Then I shall explain together. "Thou watchest the last oozings hours by hours, the brook that babbles by. I heard the water lapping on the crag, and gathering swallows twitter in the skies." So, in all these examples, you can see such onomatopoeic words like murmuring, oozings, babbles, lapping, twitter. All these words echo their senses. Let us look at a few more examples. With heavy thump, a lifeless lump, they dropped down one by one. So here, thump, lump, dropped down, all these words echo their senses. Okay, and notice that the second sentence, they dropped down one by one. This line, if you still remember the previous video, then there you have found one figure of speech called euphemism. So they dropped down. Dropped down is like here you have two figures of speech in this particular line. One is euphemism, dropped down. Instead of saying they died one by one, the writer has said they dropped down. And the other figure of speech is onomatopoeia. Okay. Acha. Let us move on to the next example. It cracked and growled and roared and howled. So all these words, cracked, growled, roared, howled, they echo their senses. Only the stuttering rifle's rapid rattle. Here, stuttering and rattle are onomatopoeic words. Then would he whistle rapidly. Whistle is also onomatopoeic word. Okay. Now let us move on to the next figure of speech, alliteration. In alliteration, the same letter, syllable, or sound is repeated at the beginning of successive or nearly successive words. Okay, so two, three things are to be noted here, that either it will be a letter or syllable or sound, but this will be placed where? At the beginning of word. Okay, at the beginning of words, and the words might be successive or nearly successive, right? Now let's move on to the examples. Nor cast one longing, lingering look behind. So here the letter L is repeated at the beginning of successive words, longing, lingering, look. Okay. Next example, the fair breeze blew, the white foam flew, and the furrow followed free. Okay, so here the letter F is repeated at the beginning of the nearly successive words fair, foam, flew, furrow, followed, and free. And there is also the alliteration of B in the successive words breeze and blew. Next example, lying silent and sad in the afternoon of shadow and sunshine. So the letter S is repeated in uh, nearly successive words: silent, sad, shadow, and sunshine. Next, the field of freedom, faction, fame, and blood. The letter F is repeated at the beginning of nearly successive words: field, freedom, faction, and fame. So I hope these three figures of speech are quite clear to you all, and these figures of speech are easier than the previous ones. So with this, I have completed figures based on sound. If you have found this video useful, then please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thank you all. Keep watching, keep learning. All the best.